And welcome to the channel, everyone. My name is Kevin Tate, and today I'd like to go over the Donastar triple stage filter system. I took some clips and I'd like to kind of do a walkthrough of the filter installation and hit on some of the points on this here. This you seen the box earlier. I unboxed it and uh, it came with a lot of these fittings. A lot of these fittings I had ordered ahead of time, so that's why it came along with it. They normally don't come with all of these fittings, but they do come with some fittings for the manifold. But as you can see, these are some fittings that you may end up needing when you're doing an install of a filter system. Um, I, I got a mixture of things here. There's some 1/4 inch John Guest fittings. Um, I got a 1/2 inch to a 3/8 um, John Guest fitting. Also, I have some a variety of clamps, Oetiker clamps, size 14.0 and 14.5. Those are good ones for doing these installs. And some unions. I have also have a T, 3/8 T in case you need to tee off one of the water lines. I got some 3/8 barb shutoffs and a couple of a few 1/4 inch splices also. So those are some components that you may need during a install. This right here is the manifold. And again, this is a triple stage, so you have 3 filters in the Donastar filter system. This is a triple stage. Right over here on your left is the inlet side. Over here on your right, on the back, that's your outlet side. There's a picture of the underneath part of the manifold. You have your openings where you can get your screws in there. You can use self-tap screws for these, and more than likely you'll be putting it under the cabinet, under the counter. So you want to try to, make sure it's even and level, and you can even the way I usually do it is I set up the manifold on in the spot where I'm thinking about putting it, and then I'll go ahead and mark the holes with a permanent marker. Use something to just mark where you want to put the holes at, and then that way you can go ahead and get the screws in. You know that it's going to be level, and then you can just go ahead and hang the manifold. But I'll be getting into some of that as we go on. They also send along instructions for these triple stage filters. So you have all of your installation instructions there. They tell you about the fittings and how to place them, how to place the manifold and stuff like that. So it does have some very good installation instructions that come along with it. This is the area where I was going to place the manifold, the filter system, right up here towards a little towards the back. You just want to watch out because you're going to need some clearance. If you're underneath the cabinet or something, you'll want to, measure out just to make sure you're going to have enough room to fit your 3/8 line in that area. You don't want to go too far or too close to the wall of the camp cabinet, because then you may not have space to get your 3/8 line on the inlet side, unless you use like a 90 fitting, a 3/8 90 fitting or something like that will work for you. Then right here I have my manifold hung. I have my regulator gauge in in place. My pressure gauge, it's in place. Um, I have my fittings on the, I'll be putting my fittings on the inlet side over here and then on the outlet side right over here. But that's how you want to go about making sure that, that it's level and that it's not going to impede from anyone getting storing anything in there. There's Make sure there's enough space for them to fit whatever they had in there. This particular location is it's a fairly new location that the customer is moving into, so everything was pretty much open there, and the only thing going in this cabinet is going to be some spare CO2 tanks. And there you go, I got it hung. I have the filters in. The filters are in place. I have my outlet side running down to the carbonator right over here. And I have my shut-off valve, one of those shut-off valves that I showed you earlier. I have that on the outlet side, and the inlet side shut-off valve is right up right up on top of the counter right here. So there's really no need to put another shut-off valve in there. But I have my inlet line running in, going through, and with these filters, usually I suggest with all filters that you purge them before connecting it up to the carbonator or to the machine, whatever you're working with. It's a good thing to just take the end of the line that you have the shut off on and shut that off, and then go ahead and turn your main water on, and then that way you can go ahead and test. You can open up that valve, that blue valve right there. You can open up that valve and then go ahead and let it run into a 5-gallon bucket, and that way you're seeing the pressure, and you'll be able to read the pressure as well on your gauge up there, but you'll also see the pressure. And then if you have happen to have a filter system that has a carbon in it, you'll want to purge out that system anyway, to get to allow it to activate the carbon that's inside of the filter. So it's just a good practice to go ahead and purge and flush your filter systems before you connect them up to the equipment. Then here I'm just showing a little closer view. You can see the fittings that I use. And for those who may not be aware, um, I use on these filters systems, I use a 3/4 female to 3/8 barb fitting. So you got the 3/4, or some people call it a hose fitting, but it's a 3/4 female fitting, and then it comes off to a 3/8 barbed fitting. And to me, I, I I prefer those type of fittings, even if it's a elbow fitting and stuff like that. I prefer fittings like that. So these are good for you to keep on your van or in your tool bag or whatever. And you want to make sure that you date your filters. I see a lot of filters out in the field that the filter systems don't have a date, and it's hard to tell, if a filter system is good or bad, and or what's going on with it if you don't have install date on it at least. So I usually try to put install date on the filter systems that I install. So that's another good practice, good thing to do. That's the date. That's the pressure. That's the pressure reading right there. And that's what the Donastar three-stage filter system looks like. I wanted to introduce you to the filter system. They have a large variety of other filter systems. They got filter systems for um, particulates, filter systems for smell and taste. Um, so be sure to go visit donastar.com and take a look at their filter systems if you're out in the field, and if you're working for yourself, or um, I really do suggest, I highly recommend these filter systems. They are easy to work with, very tech friendly. So I do prefer using the Donastar filter systems for my independent jobs, and I encourage everyone to, check them out at least. And I'd like to let you all know, if you have any questions, feel free to reach out. A lot of you have reached out with some real good questions on the videos that are on this channel, and I appreciate those questions, so keep them coming. Remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel if you haven't already. I'd like to send a shout out to the channel members and the website members. Thank you all for your support, and thank you for continuing to watch and stick with the channel. And just hopefully that I hope that this was a help to some of you out there that are out in the field and that are working with these filter systems. If you're working with ice makers, soda machines, Slurpee machines, stuff like that, it's always a good thing to have a couple of good filter systems on your van. So that's all I have for now, everyone. I thank you all for joining. Take care, and bye.